The Martian government was directed by 10 men, the leader of whom was elected by universal suffrage for 5 years and entitled Elon. Two houses of parliament enacted the laws to be administered by Elon and his cabinet. Elon, Elon, that name sounds so familiar, doesn't it, right? Hey, it's Celebrate Truth. I'm Robbie Davidson. We've got more for you on Elon Musk and his Tesla Roadster with Starman. Found it really interesting, was digging up a couple articles, found out that Wernher von Braun, his novel, may have predicted Elon Musk. Now, we always talk about science and science fiction, and even, you've got Captain Kirk, right?
What a great science fiction story.
It's so funny when you see all these quotes, but yeah, I mean, even when you get into these quotes, you see a lot of people starting to break down the nonsense and the craziness that's going on here with the space agencies, particularly SpaceX. Now, SpaceX just recently launched their car into space, and a lot of people are calling into question a lot of what they've seen. Let's get into a little bit, but I have a few videos already up. You can check them out on my channel. I think I have three or four, but I wanted to bring this one to light just to show how science and science fiction are merging. But we have Wernher von Braun with his novel and getting into this. If anyone has seen this, it's called Project Mars. Have you read it? Let me know what you think about it in the comments. But it talks about a lot of things coming up that we're seeing right now. But here we are, Mars, and all this fascination with Mars. Again, let's just stay away from the moon, but let's just go to Mars. Mars is very intriguing when it gets into a lot of the space race, a lot of these things that they're kind of doing. But let's get into this, shall we? The Martian government was directed by 10 men, the leader of whom was elected by universal suffrage for 5 years and entitled Elon. Two houses of parliament enacted the laws to be administered by Elon and his cabinet. Elon, Elon, that name sounds so familiar, doesn't it, right? So does the connection to Mars. Where have we heard this Mars linked being named Elon before, right? Again, if you had said in Wernher von Braun's 1949 book, Project Mars, A Technical Tale, you win a Mars bar. According to a post in the Daily Grail, the former Nazi and NASA rocket engineer wrote a novel about a massive 1980s project to colonize Mars, which discovered that Mars was already inhabited by by advanced civilization, and leaders of the Martian government was given to the title Elon. Was this a coincidence, or was von Braun predicting within a few decades the rise of Elon Musk, today's promoter and planner of a massive Mars missions and colonization? Right? Again, we get into the colonization of Mars. We get into the missions, constant, hype and fascination towards Mars. And this is where all the attention is, right? The Martian, the movie that came out, talking about NASA getting to Mars, all of this information. But again, this was written in 1949 by Wernher von Braun. And again, like this article says, and this is from Mysterious Universe, it talks about Wernher von Braun, as a Nazi. Yes, that's right. He was a Nazi. And he pretty much, was one of the grandfathers of NASA. We get into Jack Parsons, JPL. We get into Wernher von Braun. We get some very evil beginnings of NASA. Anyone that hasn't looked into it, please look into it. A lot of people think that, this channel and others were just critical. We hate space or we hate these agencies. It's not the case. We've looked into the past. We've seen the origins. We've seen kind of the agenda and where this is going. This is important. Look it up and see. But again, we have a fictional novel clearly pointing out Elon as kind of the administrator, the president, the overseer of Mars. And again, now we see Elon Musk, and this is a whole process. The whole world's fascinated. Oh, we're going to send a car up. We're going to send a car to space. Again, Wernher von Braun died in 1977. What was really intriguing, and this I go into this, and I think the global lie, scientism exposed. If you look at my documentaries, you'll see this because again, the connection is incredible. When you see Psalms 19:1 put on his tombstone, when you see all these things, and you see this at his grave, something he knew, especially leaving a message to say, hey, look into this. Something's going on. But again, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. really intriguing that Wernher von Braun, Nazi kind of grandfather of NASA, all the stuff that when you look into Wernher von Braun, he leaves that on his tombstone. And again, nothing other than Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament show his handiwork. And again, when we've got into the firmament, we clearly see that the sun, moon, and stars were placed in the firmament. Again, the firmament is the limit. Therefore, what is this quest? Why the agenda? Why are they trying to get everyone fascinated with space, in particular Mars? That's what gets really intriguing. But anyways, look into it. This was just going to be a short video just to kind of push you in that direction to look into this novel. Again, this article just briefly goes over it. We clearly see that Wernher von Braun had the Project Mars outlined with someone heading it up, Elon. And again, are there coincidences? No. Everything's a stage. The world is a stage. Look into all these things. See how all the connections are coming together. Connect all the dots. One little quick thing, just summarizing, I guess what's happening now with the with the Roadster is I found this kind of funny, but Elon Musk Tesla in space could crash into Earth. That's right, everyone. Now they're predicting at some point it's going possibly crash into Earth. Each long loop around the sun brings the sports car a bit closer to a fiery meeting with our home world, researchers calculate. So now the researchers are all big on this. They're all looking into it and they're saying, "Oh, we can kind of predict it and figure it out, right?" And his collaborators recently decided to spin the body's orbit forward by several million years to see which path the car might take as it loops around the sun on the solar system's most epic road trip. Currently, in an orbit that intersects the path of both Earth and Mars, the Roadster will be kicked around a bit by close encounters with these planets early on. Well, that makes it a bit tricky to determine the car's far future path with precision. If scientists run enough simulations, they can see which eventual outcomes are the most likely. Regardless of where its exact demise occurs, the Roadster only has a few tens of millions of years to live, the team says. Only tens of millions of years to live. That's right, in space. If you're a car, you can live tens of millions of years in space. So they're talking basically about how eventually it's going to hit probably one, most likely they're saying could be Earth is about 6%, Venus is like 2.5. It just goes on and on with all these predictions and basically, how long it's going to take. I found this kind of funny. Someone's actually gone so far as to put together, you can see Earth in the blue. Venus is the green, and you got the Tesla Roadster. That's right, Tesla Roadster. This will be all the new maps in school. The kids will be watching and be like, "Teacher, what's that red ring?" That's the Tesla Roadster. That's the new orbit that we put together in these maps just to show you where all the planets are and the Tesla Roadster over the next 100 years. And that's right, kids. In the next 3 million years, most likely it's going to collide with somebody. We don't know yet. Most likely Earth, could be Venus, but if you as you can see, the first 100 years, you know, possible. 3 million years, yeah, very likely. Yeah, we're gonna smack. Yeah, that's for sure. This car is gonna come crashing back to Earth. Again, science fiction, nonsense. Look into it. Start researching all this stuff and see for yourself. Look with your eyes. Elon Musk himself said that it looks so fake. It's right because it is fake. It is big, big ploy. This is just another way to make it more believable. Like, oh, we're off course, and oh no, in 3 million years it's probably going to collide with Earth, and yeah, that's right. And they're saying, by 20, I think it was 2091, it's going to be the closest to Earth ever, and that with some optics and some telescopes, we're probably going to be able to see it. Yeah, right. Mark this date. What is it, 2091? Mark it in your calendar, and all the people that have the most expensive telescopes out there, let's just see if anyone captures it. It won't be captured because it's not out there. Again, it seems crazy, but again, like the Elon Musk says in his car there, don't panic. Space is fake. I know. I know. Sometimes people get all panicky. They get sweaty palms. They're like, no, no, space has to be real. That's right. Space is real in a science fiction textbook right here. Project Mars, a technical tale by Dr. Wernher von Braun. All this stuff was started through science fiction, and now we're seeing all these things deployed. We're seeing that with satellites, we're seeing that with rocketry, we're seeing that now with Mars. And if you go and look at all the science fiction writings when it came to Mars, you're starting to see this big fascination towards Mars. And again, like Project Mars talks about in the novel, Elon will be ruling and reigning in the government that will colonize Mars, and they're looking to have some sort of civilization there. Good luck. Really interesting. It brings in a lot of problems, and from a Christian biblical standpoint, even bigger problems. Now, some of these people that watch my channel, they're still fascinated. They still love space. They're just like, no, it's real. It's all been created. You have to ask yourself this one question. If indeed this is true, and let's just say that they do colonize Mars, and let's say they have a whole civilization up on Mars, ask yourself the question, go back into Revelation, explain to me how that is going to work. How is it going to work with the Antichrist? How is it going to work with your eschatology? How is it going to work with the devil, the sin, any type of framework you have around the Bible? Once man colonizes, basically has civilization, has type of, any type of living on any type of other planet in mass, we've got major problems. Again, this is nothing but science fiction. This is nothing but an agenda. It's a deception to bring the whole world together as one to fight the one that is coming, the one that will liberate, the one that will free people. But we will be convinced that he's evil and the agenda is to destroy us. Don't be deceived. Look into all of this thing, expose the world's lies, and celebrate truth. Take care, guys.